Hey guys, Coppin is Alive YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, Wolverine #1. This is the first issue of the new ongoing Wolverine series by Marvel Comics. It's written by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Coccolo is the artist. I got the Carrie Andrews variant cover, which is a really awesome cover. I really love this. It's got the throwback Marvel corner panels here, which is really cool. I really like those. I like this one's got all the women from the X team just surrounding Logan there, so he looks pretty happy. And then we got the bottom corner panel here. It looks like some like Andy or Adam Kubert type of Wolverine style face we got going on there, and then we got just Carrie Andrews' style is he's got this very energetic, bouncy style, and this one here really reminds me of like Joe Madureira or somebody's style with like the big jawline and mouth. Just an awesome cover. So it was the only one I saw at the comic shop when I got this too. They had some of the other variant covers as well in the main cover, but this was the only copy of this cover that I saw, so I was lucky to grab it. I got there kind of late in the day too, and I didn't have this specific cover on my pull list or anything, so was able to pick it up, and glad I did. And we got Martin Coccolo on the interiors, and he's an excellent artist, so we get some really great work on the interiors as well, even though the cover is by another artist and doesn't really tell us what's going to be happening in this comic book at all. I let it slide for this issue, and we get the original Wolverine logo as well. And while I don't like them reverting back to a #1 issue, I'm going to let it slide as far as like any sort of criticism goes this time, because this is post-Krakoa, so I do kind of understand there being a distinction made here between the Krakoan era Wolverine series and this new post-Krakoan Wolverine series. And this issue does take place after the events of Krakoa, but before the events of Uncanny X-Men #1, and we do get a little panel here explaining that in the comic book, so they don't leave you hanging on where exactly this takes place in the continuity. So we get some good narration here from each character that shows up in this book too, which I really liked. So we get the motivations and thoughts of all the actors involved here. So we had Wolverine. He's been hunting with this wolf pack in the Canadian wilderness. He's trying to get away from everything, and he's been very successful with helping this wolf pack, and he's found a new family with them. But he's got his old enemy, Cyber, who has adamantium cyber skin, and he's hunting Wolverine here. So he finds himself cornered by all these Mounties, and they tell him to put the gun down, and he says he'll gladly put the gun down. He says because he likes killing with his hands. So then he murders at least one of the Mounties, and then we see Nightcrawler showing up. He's looking for Wolverine. He's trying to bring him back into the X-Men, trying to save him from himself, he says, when he's suddenly attacked by Wolverine, who doesn't even recognize Kurt's scent at first until he teleports, and then he smells the brimstone. He realizes, he says Elf, which is his name for Kurt. So he says, of course, you didn't recognize my scent? And he said, I guess not. My head's kind of messed up. And then we learn that his entire wolf pack's been murdered here, presumably by Cyber. And we get Wolverine talking about how every time, anyone he comes in contact with gets killed. which is something I brought up in my review yesterday of the Venom War Wolverine #1 comic book, where that's kind of the plot line where Wolverine doesn't want to get involved with Venom War because he doesn't want to get taken over by a symbiote and go out of control and kill everybody as, a mindless symbiote. And he's afraid that will happen if he gets involved. So kind of a similar storyline going on here where Wolverine just wants to start a new life and stay out of everyone's business. But even when he tries that, his wolf pack gets killed. So Kurt brings him a package. Logan says, "There's no getting away from this, huh?" And then so he puts the costume back on. We get our first big splash page of Wolverine here in costume. And I really like the way Martin Coccolo draws Wolverine. He draws I really like the face specifically. This panel down here is really great too. We see a really disgusting, image down there of Cyber's victim, which is kind of surprising in a Marvel comic, to be honest. Kind of how violent this book was, and it was a welcome change. I really appreciate it. I like the shoulder pads too, kind of on this look that Martin Coccolo is drawing on Wolverine. They almost look like football pads. They're kind of just like a part of the costume as opposed to like big giant, like the Jim Lee style shoulder pads. So these people think that at first they're like superheroes until they realize they're mutants. So they're not sure that they, want them around here anymore, basically. And right at that moment, Kurt gets actually shot right in the head by sniper fire. So Wolverine's got to try and bandage Kurt up and then go back out into the forest and find Cyber. And there's a shot that's fired way off in the distance, and Wolverine knows that it's a shot telling him that Cyber wants Wolverine to come find him. So Cyber starts to start a monologue here, and Wolverine's just like, "You came all this way for a conversation because I ain't in the mood." He pops the claws, and then they start fighting. So really cool. We get a great fight scene here against one of Wolverine's greatest enemies. So a really nice way to start off this first issue, I feel like. Wolverine in costume battling one of his enemies. And while they're battling, the adamantium that's being traded back and forth is actually awakening something from underneath the Canadian wilderness here. And Wolverine gets the best of Cyber, and he says his skin may be made out of adamantium, but his insides aren't. And then he tells Cyber, "Remember when I took your eye? Well, I should have taken them both." And I thought at first he was going to take both his eyes out, but he just takes one of them out, which I think is just to serve the story because Cyber needs to get away here. And he kind of guilt trips Logan for leaving Nightcrawler, so Wolverine begrudgingly leaves Cyber to go find Nightcrawler and make sure he's okay. We've got one of the doctors here, or one of the members of this like Mountie team was a doctor, and they're not happy doing it, but they say they took an oath, so they patch Kurt up and he's okay, thankfully. And Cyber finds his way into this cave, and we get some narration from even this being that was coming out from under the ground. And it says, "This is the one who woke it." So we get the view from Cyber here being taken over. And we actually immediately get the reveal, which surprised me. And it says he's purified him of his weak will, made him worthy of wielding. But its work has only begun. More of the false metal adamantium remains. So an interesting plot line, I feel like, starting out. We've got this stronger metal than adamantium here. And it looks like they're going to try and take it out of the earth, which, that would include taking away all the adamantium from Logan. So, pretty cool way to start this book, I feel like. I really liked the artwork. I really liked the writing in this book. I like that they placed it in continuity so you know where it's existing. It's not just some random story out there. So I got to give this a pretty strong recommendation. I really enjoyed this book. It was a $4.99 comic book, and it's legacy number 393. So we'll be getting the big legacy number 400 issue before long here. So thanks for watching the review, and go check out my channel. I post daily comic book reviews. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you like videos like this, please like it and share a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.